Hey there, comic book fans. I'm back from the comic shop again today with 6 new comics plus a few freebies. I'm here on a Thursday because comics were late at my comic shop. I got an email on Tuesday evening that they got word that their comics weren't going to come in till Wednesday night because due to shipping, too much shipping going on out there, theirs were going to be late. But I used to go on Thursday all the time, so let's see. First, let's look at some of the freebies. Of course, the comic shop news. We got that. Little Fantastic Four action there. Fantastic 2 joined 4. All right, I guess that'll catch us up on what the FF is doing. Dr. Aphra, Deadpool. Other Marvel stuff. Oh, the Maestro. That's right. There's going to be a new Maestro comic by who is that? Peter David, and who's drawing this? Gary Frank. Joe Bennett drew that one. I can't remember, but there's going to be more Future Imperfect stuff. Oh, Dale Keown. So more Future Imperfect from Peter David, joined by artist German Peralta and Dale Keown. All right. I remember liking Future Imperfect all those years ago. Some more random stuff. There you go. Then we got also, this is the end of the month. They're giving away some of these Marvel preview stuff, so I'll look through that. And then support our shops from Aftershock. I'm not sure what the concept of this. I remember reading something about this. I think it's an Aftershock Sampler that they're giving away for free. But I think like Aftershock was making this available to comic shops and they could sell it for whatever they want or give it away or do whatever they want. So my comic shop was just giving them away. They're like, I was like, all right, I'll take a look through that little Aftershock Sampler. And then on to the stuff I bought. What did I get? Once in Future number 8, this King Arthur tale by Kieran Gillen, Dan Mora, and Tamara Bonvillain. Our King Arthur has come back, and he's not very happy because he's a fourth century AD kind of guy, and all these foreigners are in England. Who's everybody? Because who was he? He was one of the original Britons, right? He wasn't even Saxon and Norman and all that stuff that came after him. So he's kind of pissed. And it's King Arthur stuff. Fun. We've got Monstrous. Issue 28. What is this stamp on it? Our comeback will be bigger than our setback. Oh, it's one of those. Comics Code variation stamp. This has been good. We're up to issue 28. There's shooting war going on. This has always had very nice artwork, complex politics, and a sort of slow-moving story with furious bits of action in it. There's one of our characters, this little fox girl. Monstrous is hard to describe, except there's this fantasy world with humans and animal people and old gods and magic and this and that, and everybody has been spoiling for a big fight since the last big war, a couple of generations ago, and all sorts of magic items they're trying to find and secrets going on and good stuff. Monstrous. We're issue 28. Then we've got some Vark Wars. This is our Cerebus in Hell Walt's Empire Strikes Back. It's the normal Cerebus in Hell comic strip stuff. Does it have a number on this one? Oh, let's see. Hold on. This is copy 1267 of 1860. And there's less than 2,000 of us collecting this one, but it's good stuff. I enjoy the strips. I find the humor funny, so I keep getting it. Then we got the very last issue of 5 Years. Issue number 10. Not sure how it's going to end. New trade paperback. He's going to collect all 10, and we buy them 2 separate trade paperbacks. I'm sure he's going to do a collection of all 10 issues. So this has kind of been the culmination of the Terry Moore verse, with all the characters from various stories coming in to try to end the world, and it's good stuff. Terry Moore also has a pretty good YouTube channel now where he goes over what he's doing. He gives you some drawing tips, and he talks about stuff. His wife asks questions from the audience for him. So if you ever want to learn some more about Terry Moore and his stuff, and he's a pretty mild-mannered guy too. So he himself is not that exciting, but his comics are. Let's see. Number 1, That Texas Blood. This is by Chris Condon and Jacob Phillips. And Jacob Phillips is the son of Sean Phillips, who does all that Brubaker and Phillips stuff that I've been buying for 20 years or so. His son's also an artist. His son's been doing the coloring, I think, on their latest one. And I saw some samples of this on Twitter, so I was like, you know what, I'll pick it up and give it a read. I don't quite know. Hold on. See if the back's got some type on it. Maybe it'll tell us what the story's about. Chris and Jacob pull off something remarkable here. A vivid and bright story that nails a thorough sense of foreboding and darkness. A shocking amount of talent for a duo so fresh to comics. Chip Zdarsky, Daredevil and Sex Criminals. So, greetings from Texas, the Lone Star State. So I figured I'd give it. I only put the first issue on my pull list. If I like it, we'll put it on my pull list. We'll see. Then there's something I pulled off the shelf. The Osiris Path. Don't know, by Behemoth Comics. I have no idea who they are. Cover design by Justin Greenwood. Issue 1, Moran, Kalman, McKinney, Barna, and Greenwood. Interior art and color by Walt Barna. Written by Chris Moran, Corey Kalman, and Botany McKinney. I don't know why it takes 3 writers to write this, but I flipped it open and liked the art. And really nice. Once again, it's got that very nice cover. I can tell you, the cover stock is what sold me on this, too, because I was deciding between getting this and that new Stephen King adaptation from, I don't know who was putting it out, Dynamite or someone. That a new I forget the name of it, something new this week. But that one just felt like crap. It felt like, I just like the feel of this better. That's why I ended up deciding on this one, because I like, as an object, forget it being a comic, forget about what the content is. As an object, I liked it better, so I went with it. So, the Osiris Path, all right. We'll see what this is. Oh, let me show you what I've been reading too, since I've been reading a bunch of stuff lately. I've actually read, I can't show it to you because I read it digitally, The Boys I finished, because I just put The Boys, Dear Becky on my pull list, and then I realized I never finished reading The Boys. Years ago, I got some digital copies of The Boys from one of those Humble bundles, and I read some of it, but never went back and read it, so I'm like, you know what, I'm going to go back and read it. So I read The Boys, really enjoyed it. It was kind of, there was parts there was parts that I liked and parts I didn't like, but overall I liked it, and I think it ended really strong. Now, and it's funny, I find I like alternating comics. I like reading, just sitting down and reading all 70 issues of The Boys. It's like, gotta read some stuff in between them too. So I was reading that with Peep Show, and this has got like 1 or 2 pages of this. I'd read like 2 to 4 pages at a time of this, and then read and it took about the same amount of time to read 4 pages of this as it did an issue of The Boys. But this is one of my favorites. My Peep Show bookmark fell out. This was in it. I don't think I've read this in about 20 years, but this is the late 80s, early 90s to me. I know to most people, the late 80s, early 90s is McFarlane and Liefeld and Eric Larson and Jim Lee. But me, I was reading Joe Matt. I was reading Chester Brown, Yummy Fur. I was reading Peter Baggs' Hate. So those are my 90s late 80s, early 90s comics. So 8 Ball, So it's like this was really nostalgic for me to read too, because it's an autobiographical comic that takes place in the late 80s and early 90s. So, and then it was followed up by I'm only on issue 4 right now. I'm reading. It was followed up by like a 14 issue series that took like 15 years to get out. So so the whole series isn't so early 90s, especially since he did other stories. I think that like the series issue 14 came out in like 2005 or something like that. So, and then I've also been reading, and I read volume 1 a while back and showed it on my weekly video. I think my no pull list comic. Back when there were no comics, I started reading Rex Mundi. So now I'm alternating Rex Mundis and Peep Shows. But yeah, this is volume 2. Volume 1 I read a month or two ago. Volume 2 I just got out of it. And volume 2 is very different than volume 1, not just in that it's got a different artist, but volume 1 is very sort of dark and mysterious, and there's all sorts of political machinations going on in it too in the background. Volume 2, there's a big world war going on. It's much more action oriented. The mysteries are unfolding. So it's interesting that the two different between the volume 1 was Image and volume 2 is Dark Horse. So it's interesting. I think there's maybe 6 trade paperbacks of this. The first 3 are the Image, and the second 3 are the Dark Horse. So if you ever want to track down the trade paperbacks, do that. But I'm really enjoying finishing up Rex Mundi. I've really been enjoying reading some old comics lately too. I was sitting around going, I'm not reading enough. I was getting antsy. I was like, I should be reading more comics. So I've been reading some comics and really enjoying them. And I'll show you a little of the artwork I've been doing. Here we go. I've been working on some. I still haven't done another big ink drawing. Still have a blank piece of paper there. But I just did the color on this one this week. One of my dreams of things, number 87. With these strange dreamlike creatures walking the many different landscapes behind them. And this I just did today. No, pardon me, this isn't the one I did today. This is one I did a few days. The one I did today is over on my drawing table. I'll show you that. This is a weird one. I did the inks on this, 89 Dreams of Things, and I don't know why, but I find this one weird and disturbing. Probably the strange body contortion she's doing there. I don't know what that is, but I'm gonna have to color this one when I get around to it. I color these ones with markers when I feel. Like I said, I just pull them out. I have a box full of stuff I work on, and if I feel like working on inks, I pull out one. If I feel like working on pencils, I work on the pencil version. If I feel like working on colors, I work on the color version. And here's a stack of them back there that haven't been. Well, I probably showed you most of these, but I have to make a book out of these or something, because I'm closing in on 100 of them. That's 87 of them done. So one of these days I'll have to make a book, at least a PDF book. So anyway, there's my comics for the week, and you guys have a good day.